أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So we are starting a new topic today, and that is flexibility. So yeah, okay, that's good. So the topic is flexibility. What does it really mean? Inshallah, you will find out. Everybody should be on mute unless you are talking to the teacher. Okay? All right, thank you. Okay, yeah, but I was saying that flexibility is a new topic that we are going to learn today. So what does it really mean? That's what the that inshallah you will find out during the class today. So something which you are familiar with already. I'm going to show you that first. How to tell the status, which is the first property of ism. For the singular words and the broken plurals, you go with ending haraka. And for duals and sound plurals, both masculine and feminine, you go with ending sound. Okay. So for singular and broken plurals, you know single dhamma, double dhamma means rafa on the ending as an ending haraka. Single fatha, double fatha is a sign of being nasab. And single kasra and double kasra is a sign of being jar, in jar status. For duals, it is not the ending haraka. We go with the ending sound. Ani, if the ani is the ending sound, means it is rafa, like muslimani. And if the ending sound is aini, it could be either nasab or it could be jar, like muslimaini. For the masculine sound plurals, the ending sound should be una for it to be rafa, and ina, like muslimuna, muslimina, ina for nasab or jar. And for feminine sound plural, atun should be the ending sound for rafa, like muslimatun. And for nasab and jar, the ending sound will be atin, like muslimatin. These rules for determining the status of an ism will apply to the majority of ism. What does it mean? These rules do not apply to every ism. They will apply to the vast majority of the ism, but there will be some ism on which these rules will not apply. So today's topic is about those isms which deviate from these rules, and we have to use some other ways to come up with their status. So there are some isms which do not follow this rule. For example, you know, all the pronouns you have learned detached pronoun, attached pronouns. Huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu. Kitabuka, the ka is attached pronoun. Kitabukum, kitabi, kitabu, kitabuhu, kitabuhum, kitabuka, kitabukum, kitabi, kitabuna. All the pronouns which are attached. So all the pronouns, they have a different set of rules. So they do not follow these rules, which are shown here in the table. Right? For example, a detached pronoun is always in Rafa status. That's it. That is the rule. That it has to be detached to be in Rafa status. That's it. So when you see a pronoun which is in detached state, that's it. You can just simply say it is in Rafa status. You don't have to look at its ending haraka. You don't have to look at its ending sound. The only criteria is that it is detached. That's it. So what I'm trying to say is that there are vast majority of ism which will follow these rules, but there will be some other ism which do not follow these rules. For example, pronouns, and there is a different set of rules for pronouns. Okay, so today we will be focusing on some isms which do not follow these rules. Okay, first of all, this is a column you are seeing from the Muslim chart. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. There is no problem in telling which one is rafa, which one is nasab, which one of them is jar. It's very, very simple. We go with the ending haraka, right? Rafa, nasab, and jar. Muslimun is rafa, Musliman is nasab, Muslimin is jar. Very simple. Similarly, Muslimatun, Muslimatan, Muslimatin. Very easy to tell the status because all three of them are different from each other. It's very simple. Sajidun, Sajidan, Sajidin, Rafa, Nasab, Jar. Simple. Jamilatun, Jamilatan, Jamilatin, Rafa, Nasab, and Jar. Even if you don't know the meaning of any of these words, you should be able to still tell what is their status. Rafa, Nasab, or Jar. It is so simple for these types of words. So these types of words where Rafa, Nasab, and Jar, these forms are so distinct, so different that you don't have any confusion while telling their status. These types of words are called fully flexible with respect to flexibility. All right, these words are called fully flexible. Why? Because they distinctly show their status. Rafa, Nasab, and Jar are different from each other. And it's very easy to tell their status. They are called fully flexible words, fully flexible ism. Okay. So this is one category. You're already aware of that. We just named it. We gave it a name, fully flexible. That's all. Now there are three more words. Actually, it's the same word. Musa. Musa is an ism. And as you know, Musa, an ism can be in Rafa status, in Nasab status, and Jar status. So that applies to Musa as well. So Musa could be in Rafa form. Musa could be in Nasab form. Musa could be in Jar form. But does Musa change? Rafa is Musa, Nasab is Musa, Jar is Musa. So the rules we learned in that table, which I showed you in the previous slide, do they apply on Musa? No, they do not apply on Musa. So this is one of those isms which do not follow the rules in that table. All right. So, for example, if we look in Quran, we will find different spots where word Musa is used. For example, وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ يَا قَوْمِ. Or in the second portion, second ayah, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ. Or in the third one, وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى مُوسَى. So Musa, Musa, and Musa. There are three examples of the word Musa being used in Quran. I have shown you right here. One of these three Musa is in Nasab, Rafa status, and the other is in Nasab, and the third one is in Jar status. But how would you know which one is Rafa, which one is Nasab, which one is Jar? Because they don't show their status. They don't show. There is nothing in the word telling you which Musa is Rafa, which Musa is Nasab, which Musa is Jar. There is nothing in the word itself. So what you do, you look at the words before it, after it, words around it. And the words around it will tell you which Musa is Rafa, which Musa is Nasab, which one is Jar. You don't have that knowledge right now. But by the time you finish this course, you will be able to tell which Musa is Nasab, which Musa is Rafa, which Musa is Jar. All right, but because I know, so I can tell you that this first one is Rafa, why is called Musa, and the second one is Nasab, the third one is Jar. So the words which do not show the status, like Musa, like Yahya, like Haza. Haza is small it is one of the Asmaul Ishara. Haza, Hazihi, Haulai. Haza is always Haza. Like Musa. It is not Hazu, Haza, Hazi. No. And Hazihi, which is a feminine form of it, is always Hazihi. And Haulai, which is the plural form of it, is always Haulai. So all is, and similarly, Zalika, Tilka, Ulaika. These are all asma ishara. They never change. They don't show their status, but they do have rafa, nasab, and jar status. So these belong to the same category. Words who do not show their status. Allazina. Somebody may say it is ina sound at the end, so it has to be nasab or jar. No, there is no allazuna. So we will not use a table for it. Okay? Allazi, allazina, allati, allati, allai. Asma'un mawsulatun. That was the other table which I had shared with you. So, because there is no allazuna, so there is allazina remains allazina. Allazi always allazi. Allati always allati. Allati or allai, they're always like that. They never change. So they belong to the same category. So the words who do not show their status and they do not change to show their status, they are all called non-flexible. Non-flexible. And they're called non-flexible. They don't change. So they don't have any flexibility in them. And they do not show their status. So how would you know their status? You will have to focus on the sentence or the ayah in which they are used, and then it will be very, very clear then what is their status. Is it rafa, is it nasab, or is it jar? So two categories so far: fully flexible, non-flexible. All right, I'm hoping so far everybody is with me. It is a very important concept, very important concept. It's, you can call it a subcategory of telling the status. All right, so we are still talking about the first property of ism. So fully flexible, non-flexible. But there is a third category called partly flexible, which is something in between fully and non-flexible. We need this. The main focus of our learning today is learning about partly flexibles. Fully flexible, non-flexible, they are not very complex. The complexity lies in partly flexible words. So what is partly flexible? But before we learn partly flexible, we need to learn something else. We need to learn about heavy ism and light ism. Heavy ism and light ism. It's a very simple concept. Very simple concept. So in the Muslim chart, the words you see, they are all heavy. Masculine gender Muslim chart, feminine gender Muslim chart. All the 9 words in each table, they are all heavy. Why they are heavy? I'm going to say a few words, and you will notice that there is a noon sound at the end. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. There is a noon sound at the end. Similarly, Muslimatun, Muslimatan, Muslimatin, Ani, Muslimatani, Muslimataini, Muslimataini, Muslimatun, Muslimatin, Muslimatin. There is a noon sound at the end. Right? So this is an indication they're all heavy. So how we make them light? We make them light by removing the noon sound. By removing the noon sound. Make the minimum amount of change in the word and remove the noon sound. How we would do that? Have to make the change has to be minimal. Anybody can help me with this? I want to, Muslimun is heavy. I want to make it light. Brother Sadaf Ahmad.
Yes, yeah,
Muslimun is heavy. I want to make it light. Help me here.
we will change it with a single pesh on the meme.
Yeah, so Muslimu. Huh? That's what you're saying?
Yes,
Is there a noon sound now?
no,
No. Muslimun, noon sound. Muslimu, no noon sound. How about the next one? Musliman.
Yeah, we'll change it with a single zabar, Muslima,
Muslima. How about the third one?
Muslimi.
Muslimi. Simple as that. That's all. That's all. And for dual, it will be Muslima. Muslimai. Muslimai. Heavy and light. And for plural, it will be Muslimu. Just remove the noon. The minimum change. Muslimi. Muslimi. So that is the heavy light concept. Just a heavy ism is made light by removing the noon sound at its end, by making minimum change to it. So I hope everybody is following this. Okay. So we have the heavy version of Muslim chart. We have the light version of Muslim chart. Heavy on the right, light on the left. There may not be a, by the way, there may not be a, or there will not be a breakout room today. No breakout rooms. So on the right hand side, every word has a noon sound at the end, and it is heavy. And we made them light by removing the noon sound. So Muslimu is light, Muslima is light, Muslimi is light. Muslima, Muslimai, Muslimai, Muslimu, Muslimi, Muslimi, they are all light. And similarly for feminine gender chart. Feminine gender chart. I just need some help again to make the feminine gender light. Brother Farrukh Hamid. Muslimatun is heavy. Make it light, please.
Muslima,
Muslimatun is heavy. Make it light, please.
Muslimata,
Why you changing Dhamma to Fatha, brother?
Muslimatu,
Muslimatu. Yeah. You just remove one Dhamma. Why you making another change to it? Don't make any other change. How about Muslimatan? Make it light, please.
Muslimata,
How about Muslimatin?
Muslimati,
Okay, next one. Muslimatani.
Muslimatan,
No, you have to. You cannot just. If you say Muslimatan, noon sound is still there.
Muslimata,
Ta. If you say Muslimatan, noon is still there. So it is not light yet. So Muslimata. Next.
Muslimatei,
Mm-hmm.
Muslimatei,
Next.
Muslimatu,
Muslimatu. Next.
Muslimati,
Mm-hmm.
Muslimati,
Yeah. Simple as that. There is nothing to it. It's a very simple concept. Make minimum change to remove the noon sound. So we have a heavy version of Muslim chart on the right for the feminine gender and the light version. So now we get to the point. Now we know what is heavy, what is light. A heavy version is, please everybody please mute yourself now. A heavy version of the ism is the normal form. All right. When you see a heavy ism, which has a noon sound at the end, you don't need to worry why it is heavy. It doesn't have to have a reason to be heavy. Because the heavy version of an ism is normal. It is normal to be heavy. When it is not heavy and it is light, then you need to know why it is light. Okay? It's like when the sky is blue, you don't worry why the sky is blue today. No, you don't worry about it. That is the color of the sky. Similarly, when you see a heavy ism, you don't worry why it is heavy. That is normal. That is the default version of an ism. You only worry when it is light. An ism has to have a reason to be light. Okay? There are 4 reasons. So one of those 4 reasons you will see, like it just needs one of those 4 reasons to become light. And one of those reasons is being partly flexible. Remember, fully flexible, non-flexible, and I said we need to learn about partly flexible. So if an ism is light, it could be because it is partly flexible. There are three other reasons too, but we are going to focus only one reason today. And that is being partly flexible. And it's some being light because it is partly flexible. The other three reasons, we will learn them too during this course, but at a later stage. Okay? So what is partly flexible? Partly flexible ism are always light. And generally, they don't take kasra on the ending haraka cannot be kasra for them. They generally don't take kasra. They don't take zir. They are always light and generally don't take kasra. They like their ending haraka is not kasra, generally speaking. All right. This is how we define a partly flexible ism. For example, all the feminine names, they're always partly flexible. Do you see? You will never see Maryamun or Maryaman or Maryamin. No, it will never be like that. No feminine name will be heavy. All feminine names are always light and they don't take kasra. So it will not be Maryami, generally speaking. So Rafa will be Maryamu, Nasab will be Maryama, and Jar will be also Maryama because it cannot be Maryami. So all feminine names are partly flexible. They are always light and they do not take kasra. All right. For example, again, I give you example here. Maryamu. Ya Maryamu kutuni li rabbika wasjudi warka'i ma'ar raki'in. Simple. It is Rafa. We know that. But over here in the next example, it's Maryama. We don't know it is Nasab or Jar. In the third example, it is again Maryama. We don't know which one is it. Is it Nasab or Jar? One of them is Nasab, other one is Jar. Again, once you know more about Arabic, you will be able to tell that the first one at the bottom is Nasab status, and the other one on the left is in Jar status. That is after you have learned more Arabic. So Maryamu is Rafa, Maryama is Nasab, Maryama is Jar. All non-Arab names like Ibrahimu, it will never be Ibrahimun. Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. No, all non-Arab names. For example, over here, Ibrahimu, it is Rafa. The next two examples I am showing you, they are Nasab and Jar. How would you know? Again, by knowing more Arab. Actually, Ismaila is also a non-Arab name. It is in Jar status. Ishaqa is also a non-Arab name. It's in Jar status. Yaquba is also a non-Arab name. It is in Jar status. There are only 4 prophet names. Among the prophets and the messengers, there are only 4 names, which are called Arab names. The rest of the prophets and messengers, their names are categorized as non-Arab names. So Muhammad, so you see Muhammadun, it is heavy. Shu'aibun, Hudun, Salihun, they are all heavy because they are fully flexible. Because they are not considered, they are considered Arab names. They are not non-Arab names, grammatically speaking. So they are fully flexible. Okay, what else? Names of places. All names of places, whatever they are, like Makkatu, Makkata, Makkata. It will never be Makkatun. Or Pakistanun, Pakistanu, Pakistana, Pakistana. All right. Hindustanu, Hindustana, Hindustana. It will never be heavy and it will not take generally kasra. It will not be Makkati, generally speaking. Okay? So names of places. I'm giving you categories of words which are partly flexible. They're always light and they do not take kasra. Af'alu pattern. Every word which Jua uses this pattern. Af'alu pattern. Akbaru, Ajmalu, Asgharu, ashrafu, abkamu. All words that follow this pattern will always be light and they will not take kasra. Words ending with an extra alif and hamza at the end. Ulama'u. It will not be ulama'un. No. Ulama'u, shurafa'u, ghuraba'u. Words like this that have a alif and then hamza at the end. They are always light and they do not generally take kasra. It will not be ulama'i. No. And two more patterns. I gave you one pattern before. Afalu pattern. Akbaru, akbara, akbara, asgharu, ajmalu, ashrafu, like words like this. So that was a pattern. There are two more patterns. Masajidu, masakinu. Masajidu, masakinu. All words that follow this pattern, meme doesn't have to be at the beginning. By chance, the examples I use both have a meme at the beginning. Meme doesn't have to be at the beginning. Masajidu and masakinu. These two patterns also are always light and they do not take kasra. For example, rawasiyu. It's like masajidu. Araiku. There is no meme you see at the end, at the beginning. So rawasiyu is like masajidu. Araiku. Again like masajidu. Madarisu. Darahimu. Qawaidu. They're all taken from Quran. Okay? They are used in Quran. And they will be always light and they will not take kasra when they are in jar status. They will have jar status, but they will show it with a fatha generally. So they do not follow the table we talked about at the beginning. Similarly, for masakinu, there are more examples like masabihu, ababilu, qawariru, ma'aziru. They're all like masakinu. So they also are always, all words that follow this pattern, they're always light. And they do not take kasra when they are in jar status generally. So that's all I wanted to teach today. Okay, this is a very important concept. It may be a little overwhelming for some of you, so you have to watch this video again. Okay, please watch this video again once it is uploaded on YouTube. Watch this again, inshallah. It will be very beneficial. This is a very important concept. Okay, now last few comments before I conclude. An important fact. You know what? I have been saying this for so many times now, that partly flexilism, they will be always light and generally they don't take kasra. I am using the word generally. What does that mean? Because there will be some occasion. There will be some occasion where they will take kasra. And there are only two occasions. Only two. For two occasions when any partly flexible words in jar status, it will accept a kasra. But the condition is al. Al. If you attach al to the word and it needs to be in jar status, it will accept kasra. For example, akbaru, akbara, akbara. But if you attach al to it, it will be al akbaru, al akbara, al akbari. Because now al is attached to it. When al is attached and the ism is in jar status, any of the partly flexible ism, then it will accept kasra. That is one condition, one situation. And what is the other situation? You don't know about it. So I will just mention that. You don't need to worry about it right now because that is our next topic. When any of the partly flexible word is used as a mudaf and it has to be in jar status, it will accept kasra. Generally, it will not accept kasra. Only two situations it will accept kasra it has to, meaning it is in jar status. For example, al-akbaru, al-akbara, al-akbari, as I said before. Or when it is used as a mudaf and it has to be in jar status, then it will accept kasra as well. So that's where I will conclude the flexibility topic. All right. So again, fully flexible is very easy. They show their status. Non-flexible, they do not show their status, like Musa, Yahya, Haza, Allazina, huh? Who do not change at all. So the other words in the ayah will tell us what is their status, Rafa, Nasab, Jar. And then the third category, partly flexible, those words which are always light, and they generally don't take kasra when they are in jar status, like Maryamu, Maryama, Maryama. And then we went over a few categories of those words which are partly flexible, feminine names, non-Arab names, names of places, af'alu pattern, the words ending with an extra alif and hamza at the end. When I say extra, I mean ain, lam, mim are the essential letters. Alif and hamza, they are extra actually, to make it plural over here. And the words in these two patterns, masajidu, masakinu, they are always light and they generally don't take kasra because they are partly flexible. So that's where I will conclude, and we can close today's session. And if you have any questions, I will stay after the class today and we can talk about it. Thank you.